This whole system can be monitored using an app, like you would expect, but it can also be connected to your TV using a HDMI cable and controlled with a mouse, like you would with an old-fashioned CCTV system, on a screen.
It's a unit system.
I don't think it is.
Yes! Yes! It's
No, it isn't.
phone security systems. You name it, we got it.
Well, now you're just talking bollocks. Maybe get eaten by a dinosaur. Thanks to Napcat for sponsoring today's video and for sending me their Napcat POE 4K security system with a 2TB local storage base station, 4 4K IP67 weatherproof cameras, and everything you need in one box to get a wired CCTV system in place. In the box is a gigantic 60-foot bundle of Ethernet cable for each camera, which is ridiculously generous of them. More generous than I was in Terminator 2.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Each camera has a built-in security light to enable full 4K color night vision, colored warning LEDs to scare off your burglars, and a siren that wouldn't sound out of place in Jurassic Park.
Gigantic farts.
And, as we've all come to expect with a camera system such as this, the ability to tell your burglar politely to sod off.
Hello, homeowner. I'm here to rob your house.
Hello, burglar. Please get out of my garden.
To this day, I still haven't found a 4K wireless system that can compete with a 4K wired system, and I thought in today's video we'd explore some of the reasons why. But first, here's actual footage of YouTube's algorithm handing out subscribers. I suggest you subscribe now by hitting that button and dinging that bell and giving this video a thumbs up. That'll be great. On with the show. Because these cameras are power over Ethernet, you will only need to run one cable to each camera for both data and power. And once you've run the cables, it's just a case of following a wizard to add the cameras. Reason number one. Most wireless manufacturers will compress the 4K footage so that it can create a wireless stream because they know that your wireless router is probably a pile of sweaty garbage. Wired systems, on the other hand, rely less on compression because they aren't trying to send gigantic bits of data over the air. Sorry, that was Mark Zuckerberg falling to bits because he had stolen your data. I always get the two confused. Wired camera systems tend to allocate more budget to features like an F1.0 aperture lens for better light capture. And this means that even in a dark setting, the picture looks crisp and detailed, and you'll often find wired systems such as this have more picture options such as wide dynamic range and highlight and backlight compensation. If you're the tinfoil hat type, this sort of system will really appeal to you because it doesn't rely on the cloud at all for anything other than sending notifications. And if you don't want that, you don't even have to sign up with the app. You can plug this thing in via HDMI and set the whole thing up using your TV and a mouse. And they give you a mouse. A mouse? Who gets a mouse?
All right, open your boxes.
Mouse. 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 Mouse.
Everybody get the
Mouse.
Another huge advantage to a system such as this is that they tend to be local. This means that because it's local, you could record for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, not pay anybody a subscription, and do so at 4K resolution. All you've got to do is make sure that the burglar doesn't find the base station. And thankfully, burglars are almost as good at finding these things as Hawkeye is at finding his target. Worst Avenger ever. The other thing is, it's not reliant on an internet connection. This means if your burglar does actually knock out your internet, as long as you still have power, you'll actually still be able to record him. And if you connected this thing via HDMI, you'll still be able to watch him in real time from your house, dotting around your garden, or whatever it is burglars do. Wow. I think the final and probably most important point though is that wireless is never as reliable as wired. Interference can cause issues, and as I've already alluded to, burglars can do things these days with signal jammers that might, if they're pretty good at it, be able to stop your wireless system from working. Well worth considering. Notifications can be generated for a number of different scenarios. And when I first saw this in the app, I kind of thought they were suggesting that people and cars were the same thing. Hello, darkness, my old friend. But this is actually a category of detection, and if you open it up, you can choose to only monitor people, or only monitor cars, or only monitor things like bikes, or in fact select a mixture of all three. And this is some of the best customization I've seen on any camera system, because you can actually set it to ignore targets that aren't moving, alter the sensitivity, set a schedule, and decide whether to record the activity and whether to have the deterrent activate. And the deterrents are really well thought out too. You could schedule the siren to only activate during the day so it doesn't wake your neighbors up and drive them insane if it's accidentally triggered by you or your wife or somebody else that wanders around your garden at night. I don't know where I'm going with this. But you can also schedule the LED to flash on a different schedule entirely. So you could have it so that it flashes during the night to let burglars that are wandering around your garden know they're being watched. And you can have a siren during the day that maybe scares cats off. Or vice versa, or do both. It's just a really cool option that you can schedule them independently. As you would expect from a camera like this, you can also set ignore zones for both notifications and for triggering deterrents. And the notification speed looks like this. Nope, there it is. You can't snooze notifications, and I keep telling manufacturers you have to implement this, because people are forgetful. If I decide to turn the whole notification system off because, I don't know, my wife is gardening, I'm going to forget to turn it back on again, and that night I might get burgled and I won't get notified when there is someone in my garden. This kind of thing really matters, and I think all manufacturers need to look at implementing this urgently, including Napcat. In a similar vein, there is no geofencing. There is schedules, so you can say, I want the cameras to notify me when I've gone to sleep, if there is movement, and I want the deterrents to come on a schedule, but there's no way to automate these by me going to the shops, for example, or when I come back from the shops, switch all that stuff off. These are things that I think every camera system should have, and I think it's something Napcat need to work on next. There's no OnVIF, there's no RTSP, there's no Home Assistant integration. Home Assistant! There's no Amazon Alexa skill, there's no Google Home integration. All of these things are missing. Napcat is very much at the moment a closed system. Please check the description for all of the things I've just said, because if any of them change, these are only software updates, then I shall update you guys there. So go and check there before making any decisions, but currently there's no smart home support at all. This might seem obvious, but if you hit the Do Not Disturb button, then you don't get any more notifications. Thank you, Captain Obvious. How would we ever know unless you were here to tell us?
You're welcome, citizen. Away!
You might think that's a good thing, and obviously it is. That's what you want to happen. But you can only do it for all cameras. You can't set a snooze button for one camera at a time. You can't actually set a snooze button at all. It's kind of all on or all off. I want notifications to come back on again, and I want one of these little shortcut buttons for every camera. I don't have to go like 3 menus deep to go and find the ability to stop notifications coming through just for the garden camera, for example.
So, I think I might have just discovered another problem. You can see the Do Not Disturb sign is on. So you would hope that the camera would do literally nothing at this point, right? You don't want it to be doing things when you've got it on Do Not Disturb, like, oh, I don't know, this siren? Yep. So that's the problem, because if I want to go in my garden, I'm going to have to put it on Do Not Disturb to go in my garden, right? But that's not actually going to stop the siren. which means that you're gonna have to go into every menu of every camera and turn the siren off if you want to go out in front of the cameras, which is not ideal.
Finally, there is no animated timeline. You can't like scrub through. You can select a time frame and then press play, but it's kind of painful to then wait until something happens.
It's been 84 years.
You can speed the footage up, which is useful, and this will definitely help a lot. It would be great if I could just swipe more quickly to get to something interesting. That said, it does portion up events in the day, so its AI is really good, and if it spots somebody and it says, well, there is a person, you'll actually put the person in the timeline and you go, okay, that's a separate video and I can watch it independently. This is quite a smart way of doing it, but I just want my animated timeline, like I used to have with my Nest doorbell. I miss that. I hate Nest, and they should go away forever. Bad company. Google. Our automations and integrations are utter garbage. Pop us in a bin. There are cheaper NVR options out there, but whether or not they would produce a better picture than this, or be as easy to just plug and play as this, is highly debatable. I love the warning lights, I love the fact it has a built-in floodlight, and the build quality of all the individual components is spot on. I'm doing some major renovations right now, and I'm thinking now might be the time for me to finally move to a fully wired system, and because I actually have these things in my hand at 4K resolution with 4 cameras in this really nice, tidy, compact, all-in-one system, I'm thinking this might be it. If you're interested in buying one of these things, as usual, the links are in the description as to where you can pick one up. You won't be disappointed, it's a really good system. In the meantime, without these people, I wouldn't be here doing this. I would be working in a call center somewhere miserable. If you want to be one of these incredible people, these are my patrons from Patreon. I'm thanking one of them every week, and once again, I've forgotten who it is. I've written it down, and now I need to go find out. This week it's Kerr. Thank you, Kerr. I should put his name here, probably. He has been watching me since the really, really early days. He's been watching me since I was using Event Ghost to automate my PC, and that's amazing to me. Anybody that has that kind of commitment to sticking around and watching my lunacy is honestly a godsend, and I appreciate you very much. If you're one of those amazing people, or you want to be one of those amazing people, you can do that at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal, and either way, I'll genuinely love you forever. Genuinely does keep me going. These are my Facebooks, these are my X's, and my Threads, and my TikToks, and my Instagrams. Come and hang out there and we can be best friends. See you next time. Stupid. That's complete shit. That's what I thought I'd explore today.